I am Heather from booktubes, and today is a perfect rainy, gloomy, stormy October morning to do a Halloween try chapter. This is a collab with my friend Steph at Novelty Corner. We have both been doing a lot of try chapters this year, and honestly, so is Izzy at Happy For Now. So if you're looking for more try chapters, check both of them out. I love watching try chapters. I think it's a really fun rapid fire way to get through a lot of books and kind of find out your favorite creators' thoughts on the beginning of these books. And for me, making them, I actually don't love the process of reading all the chapters because you're starting books over and over and over again, and it can get a little monotonous, a little like, are we ever gonna be done here? Especially ones that like you're not rating highly. You're like, okay, I'm reading a lot of mediocre chapters here. But one of the reasons I do love making them for myself is that it is an easy way to get through your TBR and find your priorities and find the ones that are going off. So instead of just randomly picking up books, DNFing, reading, etc., you're giving all of them a taste. And I find that to be very effective. So that's why, even though I don't always love reading all the chapters, I really enjoy making try chapters. All of that being said, this is Halloween romances, and I have organized this by page length. So I have 16 different Halloween romances that I'm going to be trying. I have 2 that are under 100 pages. I have 11 that are in the 100-page range, and those go from 104 to 173 pages. And then I have 3 that are over 200 pages, but the longest one is 242. So we have an ultimate range between 43 pages and 242 pages. So none of them are too long. I don't like my holiday romances super long typically, especially when it comes to Halloween. For me, Halloween romances, I'm kind of in it for a kinky good time. I want masked men and haunted houses and primal play and, the Halloween vibes in an erotic environment. That's kind of what I'm looking for, and I think that you will notice that the majority of the books on my list, they play into that, obviously. Most of these are random books that I got just looking for Halloween romance novellas. We're going to go in order of page length, starting with our shortest. Hopefully you and I both find some Halloween romances to read. Okay, this is such a great morning to be doing this. I'm really just loving the vibes. And of course I'm listening to The Life of a Showgirl. Now, is The Life of a Showgirl like the perfect fall ambiance music? Well, yes, obviously it is, because it came out in October and it's October and that's what we're listening to. We're definitely not listening to anything else, so it must be the perfect fall ambiance. So Deja Vu by Kia is 43 pages long, and since I have 13 minutes left in the book after finishing this first chapter, she is a sophomore in college. Her roommate gets her to go to a Halloween party, and it's held in this historic house for the vibes and the ambiance. She goes to a store to get a costume, has a weird interaction, is able to get the perfect dress, the perfect necklace for a really cheap price, and basically borrow the necklace from the store owner. And that's the first chapter. That's everything that happens. Now, the synopsis doesn't tell us anything about what this book is, other than the fact that it's Halloween vibes and it feels like you've experienced it before, hence Deja Vu. I believe it's Black Love. I don't know that for 100%, but I'm 99%. But I haven't seen the love interests or anything like that yet. So I would give this first chapter a 4, I guess. I think because it's so short and I don't really understand what creepy vibes are happening. I'm getting the costume and I just kind of want to see what happens. All right, I have read the first chapter of Pumpkin Smash by Darva Green. This is 60 pages and I'm giving this first chapter a 5 because I really want to keep reading. So she's had a bad breakup. She has been on and off again with her high school sweetheart for the last 10 years. Everybody in the small town knows that they're going to get back together, but she refuses. She's not going to be doing that. And she has a hookup plan for Halloween night, and she goes out to the meeting place, and it's like her ex's one friend, and he was like, I just want to kiss you in the moonlight before everybody knows about us, because, you know, small town gossip and everything. And she gets there, and it appears to be some sort of setup. The first chapter ends with like the realization that she might not be safe here, right? Then the synopsis says that she's going to run into the arms of like the town legend, and he's tattooed, and there's gonna be a jack-o'-lantern head. I don't know if that's just a costume, but I'm eager to find out. Hacked and Hollowed by Aurelia Knight, who writes mafia romances. This is a Halloween novella in a mafia romance series. He was the mafia prince. He was lured to a car, burned alive. Everyone thinks he's dead, but actually half his body is burned. He's in constant pain. He no longer has great muscle or control or anything in that side. And he has been going around killing everybody who conspired to kill him. And the last one on his list is the girl that pretended to be into him, got him into the car, and lured him to his death. But of course he didn't die. And then she knows that he's coming for her. The whole first chapter, though, is him killing the next person on his list. So it's pretty grisly. He's not a very happy man. He's a bundle of pain and anger, basically. This is 104 pages. I gave the first chapter a 2. It was just grisly. It wasn't really anything that I was into. But the synopsis is basically that she's going to hide in a Halloween carnival, and there's going to be CNC and other kinks as he gets his revenge one way or another. I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I'll continue. You will find out in the future with me. Stalk by Hadley Hollow. I gave this first chapter 3 stars. It's 111 pages. The first chapter is just her and her friends being at the Halloween carnival festival and talking to each other. And they decided to go to the corn maze, which is, you know, scare actors and stuff. But apparently there's a scare actor who just stalks one person. And then the synopsis is that her friends disappear one by one. She thinks there's something more sinister than scare actors in the maze, and she's drawn to the darkness of the predator inside the scarecrow mask. I don't know. This one I think is a possibility, but you know, the first chapter was literally just her and her friends at the Halloween carnival, so not much to go on. Claimed by Her Monsters by Lexi Davis. This is 120 pages. The first chapter is a 3 for me, but again, the synopsis sounds more interesting than just the, you know, first chapter setup. So the first chapter is she's a 19-year-old in foster care. She had adopted parents who died, and she has been in a group home and has just stabbed a guy who tried to attack her. And they are able to find a distant relative of her adopted father. So they are not blood related. Also, it's paranormal. So I think he's quite old. I think he's very distant. But she's 19. It's a wide choose between her and 3 guys, monsters. I don't know what type of paranormals they are, and they have to complete a ritual by midnight or she's gonna be a monster and attack the town or something. I don't know, but it sounds interesting. Do I wish she was not 19? Yes. Do I wish she was not in a very vulnerable situation where she has no resources, is looking at jail time possibly, even though it was self-defense, and has been in foster care and has nowhere else to go? Yeah, I do wish that. Is that going to be enough for me not to continue? I don't know. It depends on my mood by the time I get to this one. Bone Pillow by Nova Kane is 130 pages, and I'm giving it 3 stars on the first chapter. Well, I actually read the prologue and the first chapter. So the prologue is she and this boy grew up in this cult, and he knows that they're going to sacrifice her. and he's in love with her, and he kills everyone and makes himself the sacrifice, tells her to run, and she promises to never love again. That's when she's 20. Now it's a year later, it's Halloween again, and she has been hooking up with somebody, and when he is going to come back from the dead, he's going to be very unhappy with her that she has moved on, and he's obsessed. So it's going to be a paranormal romance. Again, I don't exactly know if I'm going to continue it or not, because I do feel like the part that I'm most interested in is yet to come. But also, there was absolutely no explanation how she had this life now, right? She grew up in this like extreme cult, but now she's an art student. She has her own apartment. She has this friend group. She's hooking up with this guy after she's not lived in the real world, and we don't understand like how she has money or anything like that. So I don't know, that bothered me a little bit. Like, I just wanted some explanation. A Very Naughty Halloween by Candy Marie is 143 pages, and I'm giving the first chapter 2 stars. I should have listened to Robin at Paperbacks and Planners about this probably. She said that the writing was bad, and she's right. There's some very questionable decisions on the writing in the first chapter, and yeah, it's not great. This is Omegaverse, and she is going to end up being hunted at this Halloween party hunt by her stepbrother that she hasn't seen in years. He's an alpha, and his 2 alpha friends, and they will be hooking up. Is that worth it for you? Maybe. Is it worth it for me? Maybe, but probably not. What I will say is, if the spice is not better than the first chapter, then it's not very good. Be My Boo by Misha Cruz is 144 pages long, and they gave the first chapter 2 stars. It is a fire marshal coming to a school to do a fire safety talk, and walks a ghost. Now, I am not sure if it is a literal ghost or like a second chance romance or what. I'm really not sure if she's an actual ghost. It does say it's a paranormal romance without any like scary stuff. It's just Halloween vibes, and there's a haunted mansion. Definitely rom-com, cozy, spooky vibes. No big scares is what it says. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't care about firefighters. No offense. So it's probably a no from me, but if you are looking for cozy, spooky, it might be a good option for you. It's not that the first chapter was bad per se, it just wasn't particularly interesting. Fright Night by M.L. Philpitt is 148 pages long. I'm giving the first chapter 2 stars. He is her stepbrother. He's the black sheep of the family. He's been kicked out for a couple of years. She got him arrested saying that he was the drug dealer when really it was her boyfriend. And then he's planning on stalking her for Halloween. According to some reviews, it looks like we have a House of Mirrors, a Halloween Fall Festival, and a masked man. Did I think that the first chapter was particularly intriguing? Obviously not. Okay, so based on some reviews, I'm a little bit confused actually, because the type of relationship between them in the first chapter, the setup in his mind is basically non-existent. He's been obsessed with her and she has had nothing to do with him. But a review says that they already had like an established thing. I don't know. I also don't know if I will be reading it. Honestly, it just depends on if I get my fix through some of these novellas. I know it's not like the most helpful thing in the world for all of you, but it just kind of depends on where I'm at on reading them when I'm over it. I have read the first chapter of Pounded in the Patch by Dana Leanne. Now, Dana Leanne is a co-author of this infamous gem of a video. I would normally not put anything by them on my TBR, right? But Izzy read this one and really enjoyed it, which doesn't make me think the book is good. It does make me question Izzy's taste. This is 164 pages. I'm going to give this first chapter a 3-star. What else is new? I don't know yet if I'm going to keep it on the TBR or not. She's kidnapped and taken to this jack-o'-lantern maze where she is going to do primal play. Now, it's pretty obvious, I would say, both from the synopsis and some hints in the very first chapter, that she is not actually being kidnapped and this is some sort of like fantasy thing that is happening. I would assume consensually, even though it appears non-consensual. So that's my take on that. Because of that, I might be interested in it, but I truly don't know. I finished the first chapter of Little Horrors and Deceptions by Lachelle Rain. I'm giving this first chapter 2 stars and I'm not going to be continuing it. So she works for the FBI, I think, and is trying to catch a serial killer, and the serial killer only kills people that the law can't get. And then she's going to be pulled off the case and sent undercover at a haunted house, and then the owner of the haunted house is attractive and also the #1 suspect for a bunch of murders that are happening. And it seems like it's going to be much more crime procedural than I am actually like wanting. I feel like it's going to be much more that than Halloween-y, even though it's gonna be at a haunted house. So I'm not really interested. It is 165 pages, if I did not already say that. Again, nothing wrong with it, but I'm not really looking for a cop story. I read the first chapter of Haunted by You by Harley Storm. This is 168 pages. It has 5 ratings on Goodreads, so hardly any. It came out in September. And I am gonna give it a 3. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I'm gonna continue. I like the idea of the romance with the president of the motorcycle club that runs Halloween attractions, and a serial killer is using these Halloween attractions as a stage for his victims and their death scene. And she is the FBI investigator on the case. Again, I'm not sure that I'm really in the mood for any sort of FBI investigator, and maybe this is misogynistic of me, but I'm not really in the mood for my female main character to be in law enforcement. I don't know, I'm just not really into it. I think I'd prefer that she wasn't the one investigating it and we were just having a Halloween motorcycle club romance with the serial killer on the side, but that's not what it is. So yeah, 3 stars. I don't know if it's gonna be on or not. We'll have to wait and see the ranking at the end of the video. All right, the first chapter of Scary in Love by Holly June Smith. This is 173 pages. I'm giving this a 3-star. However, I am interested in continuing it based on a couple things. #1, Robin from Paperbacks and Planners read and loved this one, and well, I guess that's the main thing. And then the other thing is I liked the authorial voice in this one more for a 3, but it's just nothing really happened in this first chapter. So she has set up a date at this scary mansion that has always had rumors about and stuff, and it's being opened as a tourist attraction, scare haunted mansion type thing. And her date is going to end up abandoning her, and she is going to have a romance and I think primal play with a scare actor, the owner of the mansion. So it sounds really interesting, but the first chapter was very short and nothing happened. I also was looking at the chat, and I know that Steph also read this chapter in her try chapter, so that's fun. I don't know, because I don't know what she read and she doesn't know what I'm reading. I don't know if we have any other overlap, but I know we have this one. Hi, I have finished the first chapter of A Witch's Guide to Surviving Halloween by A.M. Eno. This is the first one in the timeline for me. This is my first chapter. I know for you all in the grand scheme of things, this is almost all the way at the end. This book is 202 pages and it follows a cozy magical town that is doing their annual Halloween celebration, and things are going awry. There's a new owner of the bakery in town and she is the owner of the bookstore, and they are going to have a romance while trying to figure everything out and having issues. However, she is also very much so grieving her grandmother, who unexpectedly passed this year, and so she had planned on hosting the town Halloween stuff with her grandmother, and now she's gone instead. So this is a 3 for me. It's fine. I don't really feel anything about the writing. It's not hooking me, and I'm not going to continue it, but there's nothing wrong with it. At least in this first chapter, if the premise sounds particularly interesting to you, it is marketed as like Gilmore Girls meets the X-Hex and stuff like that. So it's supposed to be a very fall, pumpkin spice, magical romance. Run and Hide by Annie Wilde is a 2 from me. It is 210 pages. I actually read the first 2 chapters, but she's trying to get the Halloween fundraiser to have money, and she's asking her estranged stepbrother, who is a jerk. He is an adult, so I find this disturbing. She's also, the one that she's working with is the mean girl from high school. So that's like the whole first chapter, and that's like really annoying to me. I don't know. Like, I just feel like if I'm reading an adult, then you need to be acting like an adult, and you can't. I don't understand just letting people like be catty to you. I don't get it. I know that there's primal in this, but I'm just not interested at all. Tonight You're Mine by Karen Hart is 242 pages and the longest book on this list. Another 2-star for me. I will not be continuing it. You already know how the full video has gone. I only know the ones that I've read tonight, and thus far none are particularly good. I have one that I plan on continuing. So this is a 50s greaser, and he's in a car race and he wrecks and he and his girlfriend die. And that is the prologue. So there's a pretty graphic car crash, okay? And then he's a ghost and she is reincarnated maybe as this girl. She has an abusive ex and she's in town, and then for Halloween he's going to have a one-night stand with her and hopefully keep her forever. But I didn't care a whole lot, to be completely honest with you, and I don't think it's like a mood issue. I don't know. I'm looking for a reason to take them off of my TBR. I want something good for my Halloween read, and they're not really convincing me that they're the one. So I have finished all of the chapters. Here is my ranking, my initial ranking after all of the first chapters. Thank you so much to Steph for doing this with me and helping me get it done, have the motivation to film this video. So I hope that you find some good Halloween romances in it. I hope I do as well. And if you have any Halloween novella recommendations for me, do let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.